Hello there, boxing fans. This is LeRoy Peters, and welcome to another episode of The World of Boxing According to LeRoy, episode 6. Today is February 14th, Valentine's Day, so happy Valentine's Day to all you lovebirds out there. It's 10:20 in the morning. Last night I saw 3 excellent fights on ESPN. It was supposed to be Joe Smith. It was supposed to be a light heavyweight fight for the main event for the vacant WBO light heavyweight title. Joe Smith Jr. versus Maxim Vlaslov. Unfortunately, that had to be postponed because Vlaslov tested positive for COVID. So on the undercard, the undercard was pushed up to main event status. So we had the return of former IBF lightweight champion Richard R.C. Commey to go up against a Dominican named Jackson Marino or Marina. I can't remember his last name. First, I want to start with the undercard. The first fight was very exciting. Unbeaten American heavyweight Jared Anderson, who's being touted as the next American heavyweight. He was 7-0. He improved to 8-0 with 8 knockouts. It was the first time it was a 6-round fight. It was the first time he went past 4 rounds. He fought a durable Nigerian named Kingsley Ibe, and Jared Anderson broke him down. I mean, both these guys were big heavyweights. 6'4", Jared Anderson weighed 249, while Ibe weighed 276. A very stocky, muscular 276. And he obviously had eBay had the longer reach, and he tested Anderson. Anderson definitely had his offense was great. His defense not so great, but that didn't matter. He broke eBay down and blooded up his face throughout the fight. By the 6th round, the 6th and final round, Anderson had eBay in trouble and basically knocked him out. In my opinion, candidate for knockout of the year. And we're already in February. It was a damn good heavyweight fight. The fact that he's being touted as the next American heavyweight is not underrated. It was not a mistake. And I see him, if he keeps doing what he's doing, I see him definitely getting a shot at the heavyweight title within a year or two. Jared Anderson is very young. He's only 21 years old, so there's no need to rush him. The heavyweights are top heavy, and they're in good hands. More on the heavyweights later. In the second fight was a featherweight fight. You had Adam Lopez versus Jason Sanchez, and in a 10-round fight, which was pretty good. Adam Lopez, who's trained by Buddy McGirt, I'd say he gave away the first 4 rounds, but then from rounds 5 to 10, it was all Lopez, even though rounds 9 and 10 were close. And Lopez won the fight by majority decision. It was a very close fight, but it was also a damn good fight. There were no knockdowns, but sorry. But it was a back and forth seesaw battle. The main event, again, it was the return of former IBF lightweight champion Richard R.C. Commey of Nigeria. He was fighting Jackson Marinas. This was Comey's first fight in 14 months since losing the title to Teofimo Lopez in December of 2019, where he got knocked out in 2 rounds. Commey put up to a good start in the fight, and long story short, he knocked Marinas out in another, and I must say, another knockout of the year candidate. He knocked Marinas was no pushover. He was durable. He gave Commey some fits throughout the fight. The fight was a 10-round fight, but it only lasted 6 rounds. And he gave Commey some fits throughout the fights, but Commey prevailed and knocked Marinas out in the 6th round, knocked him down twice. The second knockout, again, that's the second candidate for knockout of the year. So we had 2 last night on ESPN. We had 2 candidates for knockout of the year last night. And it was a great time to be a boxing fan. I want to talk about the as I said, as I promised, I would talk about the heavyweights. The heavyweights seem to be in good spirits. It's not official yet, but Tyson Fury, who's a WBC Ring Magazine and Lanil heavyweight champion, and the two-time and reigning IBF, WBA, WBO, and IBO heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua have agreed to fight each other. Their promoters Eddie Hearn and Bob Arum have already sent each other the contracts. So the only thing that's preventing the fight from happening is the contracts being signed. There's talk of the fight happening either in late spring, early summer. It will be for all 4 heavyweight title belts. So this will be the first unified fight for the unified 4 belt heavyweight titles, and it'll be the biggest fight in British heavyweight history since both Joshua and Fury are British. As I mentioned in previous videos, I'm not a fan of Fury. I respect him. I'm a huge fan of Anthony Joshua. I want him to win. But the only chance I see him, and it's not a big chance, but I see Joshua, his only chance is going to the body and hurting Fury to the body. It's not a big chance because Fury's 6'9", and he has a 85-inch reach advantage. Joshua is 6'6", and his reach advantage, I think, is 82. So Joshua has to make, in order for him to beat Fury, he has to make some huge risk. But if I was a gambling man, which I'm not, I'd put my money on Fury. Like I said, I don't like the guy, but I respect him, and I hope I'm wrong, but I don't see Joshua beating Fury if and when the fight happens. Well, there's no if. The fight's going to happen. It's just the contracts need to be signed. Other heavyweight news, if you haven't heard, Deontay Wilder and his former trainer are at each other's throats. I'm a huge fan of Deontay Wilder, but these accusations, and I applaud Mark Breland, his former trainer, for basically breaking his silence and responding to the false accusations that Deontay Wilder has hurled at him, throwing him under the bus. And I don't know what's wrong with Deontay. He doesn't seem to be mentally in a good place for him to say the things he says against the guy who basically brought him to the dance, who got him the WBC heavyweight title, who got him through 10 title defenses in 5 years. Like I said, I'm a fan of Deontay. I love the man, but I pray that this is not his legacy. I pray this is not the end of him, but it appears to be it's the end of him. In upcoming fights, I would like to announce that next week we have a WBC junior lightweight fight. It's going to be on ESPN between 2 hard-hitting Mexicans. The WBC junior lightweight champion Miguel Berchelt will be facing Oscar Valdez, and it's next weekend, October 20th at 10 o'clock on ESPN. I'll definitely be watching this fight. I've seen Berchelt fight. He is a buzzsaw, and to say Mexican warrior is an understatement. So I'll be surprised if this fight goes the full 12 rounds. Canelo Alvarez returns on the 27th of this month, defending his WBC, WBA super middleweight titles against his mandatory Avriel Yedlin. A lot of people say that's a walk in the park. But Alvarez, I'll give him credit, wants to fight more, and I still don't have him as my number 1 top pound for pound until he gives Gennady Golovkin a third fight. Because mainly I don't believe he beat Golovkin in the first 2 fights. I believe Golovkin was robbed in the first 2 fights, especially in the last fight, which was close, but I had Golovkin winning that fight. And I think he was robbed because of, and I think it was because of the fans who either motivated the judges or scared the judges into going against Golovkin. I think there's a conspiracy against Golovkin and guys like Golovkin. Um, but I like Canelo Alvarez, but if in my opinion, if he wants to prove that he's the number one pound for pound, he needs to give Gennady Golovkin a third fight. I wish him luck in his next fight. In the welterweight division, I'm praying Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence Jr. fight each other. I'm a Terrence Crawford fan. He's my number one pound for pound in the in boxing, and I think the winner of the Terrence Crawford Errol Spence Jr. fight, if it ever happens, which I'm praying it happens, should be considered the number one, not only the number one welterweight, but the number one pound for pound in boxing. Right now, that's it. That's it. That's all I have for now. Happy Valentine's Day. Please continue to wear your mask. COVID is still going, as I mentioned earlier. Please be safe. This is LeRoy Peters with World of Boxing according to LeRoy, and I'll see you next time. Take care.